Let's establish a distinction between values and drivers. So it's quite common to find a place on the website for a business where they've listed their core values, their values. And similarly, for individuals, especially in coaching, it's a common topic. Values. What are your values? We're trying to identify values. And typically, when this conversation unfolds, it starts with words like integrity, friendship, loyalty, bravery. They're kind of a top 10 list of values that rise up, which is great in one sense. It means a lot of us share values, but it may also indicate that we kind of all know the answers to this test, and there are words that signify values that we do value, but fall short of really helping us identify what's going on with us, what's driving our behaviors. And so the word I've come to start to talk about is the word drivers. Now, this is actually a shortening of a term that I learned from one of my coaches, Maureen Miller, who uses the term internal drivers. But I mean the same thing. And what the idea of drivers is that I'm getting at is that there are underlying forces in each of us as individuals that tend to actually drive what we then express as our values. These are the roots of what become our values, actual or just the ones we talk about. Not that anybody would do that. The value to me for finding drivers is getting to the core of what is the nature of this person everyone knows as Damon, this me that I think of as myself. Without dragging you through the mud of the process of determining drivers, I thought it might be useful just to share mine with you. And since I don't have them quite memorized yet, but I have put a bunch of time into identifying what they are, I'm going to read from my cheat notes. These are my drivers: agency, accomplishment, awareness, making, problem solving, understanding, curiosity. Now, a couple of these might sound like something you've heard from a list of values, but by and large, this group of words does not represent values. One could say I value agency, but it's not because I have a value for agency for everybody. This is very personal for me. I'm driven to feel a sense of agency in this world. Even if I philosophically come to the understanding that I don't actually have agency, I cannot turn off the machinery in me that drives me in almost every aspect of my life to feel agency. Curiosity is another good one from that list. My entire life, as far back as I have memories, curiosity has been a massive driver in the things that I do, the activities I get engaged in, the jobs that I take, the relationships that I have, the destinations that I go to, the rocks that I turn over. There is an undeniable, like it or not, curious nature about me. And while I'm not closed off to the idea that these could change over time, everything changes. These do seem to have a kind of permanence. As you can see, I'm not comfortable using the word permanent or permanence to describe these. I don't know the final answer for me on whether these are permanent or whether they're just durable aspects of our lives that sort of metamorphosize over time. It could be that there are certain drivers that rise up in different times in our lives and fade into the background at different times. This is a recent discovery and process for me. But ultimately, to give this some shape and some punctuation for you, when you're thinking about what are my drivers versus my values, what is Damon going on about, seek to find the commonalities in your life, the ways in which you show up in your world. Your drivers come from someplace very deep inside of you. And a lot of times you might not actually like them. Our values are always likable. They're always like, oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, values feel good. To talk about values is always nice. My drive for accomplishment is not something that I actually feel a lot of pride in. In fact, I would say more honestly, I feel a little bit of shame in it. And so if you arrive at places where you notice that you're driven by an internal engine that you don't necessarily love about you, but it's just true that is your nature, you're starting to get close to what your drivers are.